Welcome back to the Caffeinated Church Conference. Now that we've talked about the importance of a website, we'll explore about how having a regular e-newsletter can partner with your other communications tools, most importantly your website and social media. We'll talk about physical print newsletters at another time, but e-newsletters are cost-effective ways to reach your parishioners. E-newsletters are an active medium, meaning they reach out and land in a person's inbox. Every week, I get an email from my church that reminds me to sign up for something I'm interested in, or to put a date on my calendar, or to be challenged in my faith in a different way. It also reminds me of the investment I've made in the parish in my own personal giving. But let's start with some of the basics of e-newsletters. Your e-newsletter needs to be regular. Is your e-newsletter going to be sent weekly? If so, is it sent on the same day and the same time each week? If you send too many emails, you risk frustrating your recipients, tanking your open rates, or boosting unsubscribes. Send too few, and you risk reducing engagement with your e-newsletters. I recommend a weekly e-newsletter sent on the same day at the same time. If you send your emails at the same day and time each week, there's less of a chance you'll surprise recipients and spark negative reactions. When you have a sign-up sheet, be very clear about what a person is signing up for. I often don't sign up for email lists because a company or organization has left a major detail off the request for my information, a contract of sorts for how often they will send me information. Am I signing up for a daily email from you, or are you going to spam me with multiple emails per day? Will you be sending me a single e-newsletter per week, or every other week? This information's important. I like Bed Bath & Beyond, but somehow I've gotten onto their email list and I get 2 or 3 daily emails from them. Daily! And it's not great content either. They aren't marketing new products and touting incredible reviews. They're simply sending me the same email with minor changes over and over and over. 20% off coupons, non-stop. So I've unsubscribed altogether. I'd like a 20% off coupon every once in a while, but they failed to understand my wants and needs as a customer, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. So, send out your e-newsletter regularly, at the agreed-upon schedule that you've communicated. On the rare occasion that an important event has occurred, such as a church-wide emergency or the passing of a well-known parishioner, then by all means, break your regular email schedule and send out a notice, but don't do it frequently. Again, in emergency situations. That leads me to my second point. Notice I keep calling it an e-newsletter. That sounds friendly and informative, right? Please, for the love of all things good, don't call it an e-blast. Who likes to be blasted? An e-blast reminds me of being sprayed with slime on a kid's game show or exploding food in the kitchen. The name e-blast communicates a lack of care or consideration. It communicates sending notices whenever you feel like it. It communicates spam. No one likes spam emails, so don't communicate that your e-newsletter is of that caliber. Let's talk about content. Not everything needs to be communicated. You know when you call your grandma and you want to know the important things going on in her life, but instead you get a forever long list of aches and pains and unimportant details about the weather, what she recently ate, or what her neighbor did last week? Don't be that grandma. Communicate the important things. Be concise. Content should lead with clear headlines of each area, ministry, or event. Graphics or photos to accompany each content piece are helpful to the eye too. Think about how you scan an email that's come to you. You read headers, you judge the content on the graphics, and you look for visual clues as to what the information's about. And if you're interested, you might read the first sentence or two of a paragraph. If you're really interested, you might read the full paragraph, but probably not more than that. Use your intuition. If you're asking yourself, is this too much information? It's probably too much information. Then link your content with hyperlinks or buttons back to your website with further information. Encourage interaction with a call to action whenever possible, such as learn more, or register now, or read more. Over time, you'll see your website analytics go up as people read your e-newsletter or engage with your content. They'll go to your website and then dig deeper into opportunities and respond to them with their attention and attendance. What if you make a mistake? A date's wrong or something. If you have a process in place where you send proof emails of your e-newsletter to your fellow coworkers or communications committee before you send out your email to the masses, you'll help limit mistakes. Double-check dates. If a mistake does happen, you can always correct the mistake on your website. Only in extremely rare cases should you send out a correction. In 14 years of sending e-newsletters, I've only had to send a correction twice. Remember the communications pie from the Communicating Your Church Vision video. You have only so much space to promote. Your readers have limited attention spans. Start with your vision and work backwards. Be intentional about creating space for ministries that accomplish your vision and communicate those opportunities clearly and concisely. So what tools should you use to send out your e-newsletter? To help prevent spam and keep accounts safe, email accounts like Gmail limit the number of emails you can send or get per day, and the number of people you can add as recipients. There's a key word there: spam. To avoid your emails being dumped into your recipients' junk email boxes, you'll need to use an email service such as Constant Contact or MailChimp. Constant Contact has some great responsive customizable templates geared towards small businesses and starts at about $20 per month. MailChimp, on the other hand, is free for less than 2,000 subscribers. MailChimp has some great templates and responsive design options. Both Constant Contact and MailChimp have tools for your list management. Via these tools, you can begin to segment your parishioners into categories. For instance, maybe you might consider having a separate e-newsletter that's just for parents of children and youth. Or you might have a separate email list for those in your community who want to be kept up to date with upcoming concerts and music events. Using templates in Constant Contact and MailChimp is easy. Don't be afraid. You can set up a new e-newsletter using one of these services. If you can import a photo into Word, you can manage a MailChimp or Constant Contact account. It's easy. Use line breaks and headers and content blocks with images and have fun setting up your e-newsletter. A responsive e-newsletter design, just like your website, will ensure that your e-newsletter looks good on a recipient's phone as well as their desktop computer or tablet. My final point here is about your data. Your data is important. How are you collecting email addresses? Are you collecting email addresses with an online sign-up on your website? Or are you doing a Communications Sunday where you have a sign-up booth to update everyone in the church database? Are you receiving your parishioners' information via a connection card in their pew? Be bold in asking for your members' email addresses. And remember, communicate to them when you ask for their information how you will use their information and how often you will be reaching out to them with your e-newsletter. It's not an e-blast. Next, we'll talk about social media and how your church can utilize these powerful networks to engage not only those within your church body, but others in your wider community. Thanks for being a part of the Caffeinated Church.